Friends, in today's class we will discuss about forfeiture of shares. When a shareholder fails to pay one or more installments, that is, it can be allotment, it can be first call, second call, final call, due on the shares held by him, the company has the authority to forfeit such shares. Forfeiture of shares means the cancellation of allotment to defaulting shareholders and to treat the amount already received on such shares as forfeited. In this case, a shareholder ceases to be a member of the company. Now I will be explaining you the procedure for forfeiture of shares. There is no specific procedure laid down in Indian Companies Act in respect of forfeiture of shares. The right of forfeiture should be contained in the Articles of Association of the company for non-payment of installments. If procedure for forfeiture has not been laid down in the Articles of the company, the provision of section of Table F shall apply. Shares are forfeited according to Rule 28 to 34 of Table F and rights given in Articles of Association. According to Rule 29 of Table F, the Board of Directors shall serve a notice to the defaulting shareholder to make the payment of such calls in arrear with interest, if any, on a further date, not being earlier than the expiry of 14 days from the date of serving notice. It shall be stated therein that in the event of non-payment up to the specified date, his shares shall be liable for forfeiture. Despite the receipt of such notice, if the shareholder fails to make payment of his dues by a stipulated date, his shares be forfeited by passing a resolution by the Board of Directors to this effect and the member be informed accordingly. The forfeiture of shares under the provisions of the articles may be made only for non-payment of installments and not for any other reasons. In case the shares are forfeited for non-payment of business debts, the forfeiture shall be treated as illegal and invalid. The articles may provide that even after forfeiture of shares, the member may remain liable for payment of his arrears. It is not treated as suitable in practice, and therefore the companies generally reissue the forfeited shares immediately so that the past member's liability is automatically finished off. Now I will be telling you the accounting entries for forfeiture of shares. The accounting entries are like this. When the forfeiture of shares issued at par, in that case the journal entry will be share capital account debited, to share allotment account, to share first call account, to share second call account, to share forfeited account, and the narration will be being shares forfeited due to non-payment of calls money. In the amount column we write down in front of share capital account with the amount called up, in front of share allotment account with the arrears on allotment, on first call with the arrears of first call, on second call with the arrears on second call, and in front of share forfeited account we write down with the amount received on forfeited shares. Now the second condition is forfeiture of shares issued at premium which also remains unpaid. Then our entry will be share capital account debited, securities premium account debited, to share allotment account, to share first call account, to share second call account, to share forfeited account. In front of share capital account in amount column we write down with the amount called up, in front of share premium account with the amount of premium, to share allotment account in front arrears on allotment, to share first call account arrears on first call, to share second call account arrears on second call, and to share forfeited account amount received on forfeited shares. Now the third condition is forfeiture of shares issued at premium which is received. In that case our entry will be share capital account debited, to share allotment account, to share first call account, to share second call account, and to share forfeited account. In front of share capital account we write down with the amount called up excluding premium. In front of share allotment account, amount of arrears on allotment. Second call, amount of arrears on second call. And share forfeited account, amount forfeited received on forfeited shares excluding premium. I can explain you with the example. Suppose Madhuri Limited issued 40,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, rupees 3 per share on application, rupees 2 on allotment, rupees 3 on first call, and rupees 2 on second call. And Mr. Sham was allotted 400 shares. Give necessary journal entries like Ganesh could pay only application money, and on his failure to pay allotment and first call, his shares were forfeited. So in this case, the entry will be as he has called 10 shares, application rupees 2 on allotment with 1, and Mr. Sham was allotted 400 shares, and you are to give certain entries. So entries will be on the case of day of forfeiture, and equity share capital account debited to equity share allotment account to equity share first call account to share forfeited account. Now Mr. Sham could not pay application money, could pay only application money, so everything else is in arrear. So he has called up suppose rupees 8. So equity share capital we write down 400 into 8 amounts to 3200. Allotment was to rupees 2, so 400 into 2 800. First call was of rupees 3, so 400 into 3 1200, and forfeited will be in front of share forfeited account. We will write down the amount forfeited, that is amount of application, and the application amount was rupees 3. So in front of forfeited we write down 400 into 3 1200. Okay. Now this forfeited can be reissued, and in case of reissued, the entry will be like this: bank account debited to share capital account. If all the shares are reissued and if there is balance in forfeited account, then it is transferred to capital reserve account, and on the date of transfer, when all the shares are transferred, the remaining balance of forfeited account is transferred to capital reserve account. So the entry will be share forfeited account debited to capital reserve account, and in amount column we write down the balance that was in forfeited account, and the balance of share forfeited account is transferred to capital reserve account. The forfeited shares actually becomes the property of the company. A company can reissue the forfeited shares in accordance with the provisions contained in the articles of the company as and when it is convenient. These shares may be reissued at par or at premium or at discount. The provision of section 53 of the Companies Act do not apply on reissue of forfeited shares at discount. But the maximum amount of discount which may be allowed on issue is like this: when shares were originally issued at par or at premium, the amount credited to forfeited shares account. Maximum permissible amount is discount is the amount credited to forfeited shares account, and when shares were originally issued at discount, the maximum permissible discount original discount. And the entry for reissue of shares at par is bank account debited to share capital account. Reissue of shares at premium is bank account debited to share capital account to securities premium account, and reissue of shares at discount is bank account debited, shares forfeited account debited to share capital account. Bank account is the actual amount received on account of reissue of shares. Share forfeited is the amount of discount, and share capital is the paid up amount of share capital. So this is discussion for forfeiture. I hope you all understood. Thank you.